All right, back out in the garage. It is a mess. Generator from the ship. So it's Thursday night, 1 week after the start of the show down in Rushville. I cleaned out the back of the truck, all the empty gas cans, a couple full gas cans. So tonight's project, I'm going to work on this some more. So this is the drive shaft, or part of the drive shaft for the New Holland Haybine. Earlier videos I talked about ends not being, U-joints being beat up, and trying to use this shaft to replace that shaft because those yokes are so beat up they'll never ever hold cups and stuff back together right again, we don't think. So anyway, so I ended up cutting the end off of that shaft, the end off of that shaft, and remember how that goes together. Let's see the most part. Got some holes drilled. But, all right, you sit here for a second. So, oh, now you're not gonna. Are you gonna focus? No, you're not gonna focus. Come on. All right, fine. Well, what happened to you? Let's. All right, I don't know what happened to the camera. They decided they didn't want to focus. So, anyway, so we're back. So back here in the shaft. This is the shaft off the mower. This piece of pipe here, or the shaft here, is off of the New Idea flail conditioner thing. Okay, we're not going to drop it this time, okay? That shaft came off of this one here, with the shield that came off of the flail mower conditioner, the one that's all beat up and apart. Anyway, so what I've done on the killer part, thanks to my buddy Stu, let me borrow his big old metal lathe. I took a piece of black pipe, I've turned the sleeve, I got plug welds, got that together. It's a two-handed job, but we'll slide this back in here. Step over all this stuff. I gotta clean my garage. Maybe tomorrow night. I think my wife's busy with stuff tomorrow night. Anyway, the spline portion of the shaft is over here in the freezer. I'm getting that nice and cold. Might have should have got some sandpaper and cleaned it up before we did that. Whatever. Anyway, so hopefully we will be able to get this section slid back together, get that in there, and finish the plug welds. I may try and leave just a very small gap between these two so that I can get down in there and get full penetration into that, and then we'll weld that end back out on here, and then hopefully when we get back down the farm with it, maybe Saturday, we can put it in the machine, give it a spin, and see just how not round it spins. I have some concerns that this shaft here might have been bent anyway because of, no, I'm not welding on top of this gas can that's full of gas. I'm using the handles as kind of a V-block so I could turn it with another gas can sitting next to it to see how the gap changed. Kind of a redneck dial indicator kind of thing. So anyway, I'm gonna get that put back together kind of where I want it, and I'll see about getting the spline into this, and then we'll turn it in our homemade V-block thing and see how bad the spline, because I'm not too worried about the joint not being perfectly concentric as I am the splined in on that end and that end. So anyway, I'm gonna get set up here to do that thing, and yeah, I'll be back when I get things a little further along. All right, I got that booger welded all together. Got my plugs all filled. I got welds all the way around. It's not very concentric. Don't care. There's enough slop in the holder that holds this in. I think it's going to be fine. No more reuse it. It's going to, yeah. So I'll put a grinding wheel back in the leg remover over there. Clean this up. Smooth it off. Fix all my mistakes, because I'm sure there's plenty of them, and we'll just go from there. All right, I'm doing about all I'm going to do with this shaft. I don't know. Welding ground, whatever. I'm not a grit welder. That's why I'm a grinder. There's some spots where there's, yeah, this is probably the worst area right here. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna call it good. We're gonna stick it back on the mower, I don't know, Saturday maybe, we'll see, and go from there. Anyway, I'll be back.